This guy built this place with the same technology that they used to build the pyramids. He knew it. That's him. This dude is tiny. He did this all by himself. These are enormous blocks of coral. This is phenomenal. Like I said, you're not supposed to be videotaping, but allegedly these are the tools that are used. This is absolutely, definitely on a ley line. There's no two ways about it. And it's in the middle of a pretty shitty neighborhood right now. But I'm going to try to get everything, so if I don't narrate, I don't know what to tell you. That means there's a tour guide around. This place is big. And the monuments are massive. Wow. There's a lot of, well, there's a capstone right there. I don't know if this is picking this up. There's a capstone, and there's Saturn. Saturn is omnipresent. There's Saturn. There's what's called the Star of David. This guy did this all by himself. That's a trip. Yeah, the door. Really big lizards running around everywhere. I mean, really big. Edward knew the secrets of the pyramids. That's a fact. He did this all with 3 pieces of wood and a black box. He did it only at nighttime. It's pretty amazing shit. That door over there used to move with one hand, but then we fixed it after he installed it, and well, now it's broken. It doesn't work at all. There's tour guides all over the place, so I gotta watch myself. This right here covers the equinox.
North, south, east, and west. This is a breeding area.
This pyramid lines up with that that crosshair. This is almost identical to the Georgia Guidestones. Identical setup, except the shitbag didn't make them. Oh, I'm sorry. This is identical to the Guidestones. This is his telescope. And there's a tour guide here giving the absolute wrong information about this whole place, because that's his job. This place is big. This is Ed's telescope. How the fuck do you put something like this up? These are huge slabs right here. Huge slabs. Look at the size of this thing. This guy from Czechoslovakia or wherever the fuck somehow knew the secrets of the pyramids. And he levitated this shit. And this is amazing. I drove a long fucking way to come down here and see this. And now it's in the middle of an absolute shithole town. They turned it into a museum. That's so sad. This was the original entrance. You could push this door with one hand. How did he carve this shit? Saturn, the half moon, maybe Jupiter, I'm not exactly sure. Big ass lizard running up the wall. Oh, it's an iguana too. He's not too happy. Look at, he's bobbing his head. There's a female on the ground. Look at this, all one piece. This thing is fucking 20 feet high. This is all one piece. This is crazy. It's like a big ass moat that goes all the way around. That's big. This was originally built out in the middle of nowhere, apparently. I've seen this on TV shows, and that's it. No videotaping. That's pathetic. Why? Who cares? Why? This is amazing. These are really thick blocks. This is as close as you're going to get to the pyramids in the United States. This guy used the same exact technology, and it blows me away. That is not what he used. I love how they're going to try to change this guy's history, too. This is big stuff. Big, big blocks. This guy is tiny. He's only 5 foot tall. He's a little guy. I've had sex with people. Never mind. There you go. Start making them.
What?
Start making them.
Actually, there's this one guy that absolute genius. He's figured out all of this minus a few things, which is.
The guy knew something.
Yeah.
He knew something. This is our pyramids right here.
Oh, this is and I mean.
This is a powerful piece of land we're standing
Yeah,
on
I
too.
mean, this, in my humble opinion, this.
Look at it.
I mean, this is, from I mean, if people understood this, what this was, what he did with that, what he can do, what that is, which I understand 95%. I'm in here with.
What is this? Is that the free energy machine?
That's the thing.
That is the free energy
If
machine.
you want a good way, how technical are you?
I'm not.
Oh,
not.
Okay.
I'm not, but I'm well aware. I just
Yeah.
don't know how to do it. You know what I mean?
This guy was whoever he got. Well, I kind of know. Well, we're discussing. I'm in a group that's
These
been.
are all magnets.
They're magnets. There's quite a few missing parts, and these two motors are part of it also.
Well, I'm noticing the tour guide is telling the exact wrong history. His job is to tell everybody don't try this. It's
Yeah.
not real.
No, that. If people knew what that was, I mean, there'd be lines of people 10 miles long.
You bet.
I mean,
I thought that was here.
Yeah.
I drove a long way to see
Yeah.
this, and I thought that's what I was going to find. You know,
And it's-
according to carbon dating, the stones on the top of the pyramid are older than the stones on the bottom. No. It would appear it was built upside down.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, no, and this is so simple. I mean, what this does, there are 4 poles to this. 1, 2, 3, 4. One of these poles turns this to generate electricity.
right.
The other 3 create well, I'll use a simple term, create a current. Part of the current would go out here, and he would use that current. One of these poles runs this for electricity. The other 3 poles, basically what you're doing, you're separating mass from energy. The energy goes down and flows into the crank. The mass comes up through the chain over to his tripod. If you ever saw the tripod,
with the
tripod
black
had a
box on top. It's not here, I noticed.
No, that motor most likely was the motor that was in the black box, and somebody robbed all the copper out of this stuff, and that had a fair amount of copper in it.
Well, that makes sense, because that's why it doesn't look like a motor.
Yeah.
I can tell those are magnets.
And there used to be copper coil here. There used to be 6 copper coils inside. And basically what you're doing, you're separating mass from energy. And I'm putting it simple. You're separating mass from energy. The mass gets sent up through the chain. If you notice, there's always a cable connecting to where he was working.
I did see that.
And what you're doing, you're raining. What it'd be like if you had a big chunk of wood on the ground and you said lift that. Well, if that was a 1,000-pound chunk of wood, I can't lift that damn thing. Well, if you filled that around that with water, it would raise.
Right.
Okay, now using the same concept, water you can see. Well, and
Energy is the same, but you can't see it.
see it. If you have tiny particles of mass, you can't see it.
I'm glad I woke up when I did.
And that's now. And the interesting thing is if you increase this. I mean, I don't know. Have you ever got shocked by a spark plug on a lawnmower?
Yes, you bet.
Okay, well, that one of those magnets can give you a. If you got a spark, that's 6, 8, 10, 15,000 volts. If you look how many magnets, plus what they're done, they're stepped. It's stepped up in a series of 3. You increase it 1, 2, 3 times. You are putting out. If you let this build, this just keeps building. 50,000, 100,000,
Really?
200,000, 500,000, million, 2, 3 million.
So it runs. It's infinite.
It's infinite.
Infinite free energy.
Now, the problem is at some point the mechanical stress the materials can't hold the stress.
That stands to reason. That makes
And
sense.
so that's, I mean, in the world, in my opinion, this is the most advanced machine that we've known in the last 20,000 years.
And they won't let us know it.
And
The guy's out there telling me. I heard a little bit, and I walked away. I'm like, I don't want to hear this.
Yeah.
This isn't real.
and
I know a lot about this guy. I've studied this extensively.
Yeah.
I know the gravity of what this is. No pun intended.
And then even I'm looking at the cuts. What you do with this also, it's like having a hot knife through butter. I mean, if you're running 2-3 million volts through a wire, what do you have? You have a hot knife through butter is what you have. And a lot of these cuts are pretty crude, but if you look at some of these cuts.
Yeah. Well, no, I have.
Yeah.
Some of them I just got that. Some of them are phenomenal.
Yeah. And then, if you look historically at some of those old sites in Mexico and Tiwanaku and the pyramids, you got a piece of granite that's 60 feet long that they held to 2 or 3 thousandths tolerance.
I've been listening to Graham Hancock
Yeah,
all the
Graham-
way
yeah, Graham
since
Hancock.
from Boston.
Yeah.
That's all I've been listening to.
But what I'm telling you now, there's probably only 6 people in the world that know this. You're number 7 probably.
Wow.
So that's,
I'd like to think I would have guessed what that was,
Yeah.
but it
Now
looks.
this-
As soon as I saw it, I think I did actually.
Yeah.
It looks like a free energy machine.
this guy, I mean, to be able to do that back then, I mean, with you know, old, I mean, these are magnets off a Model T, you know, they're Model T parts, you know, and to put that together, I mean, that's, and once you understand it, it's, I mean, it makes the atomic bomb look like a firecracker.
Right.
I mean, if you take that, I mean, just this alone has incredible power. If you multiply that by, let's make something 5,000 times more stronger than this. Now you've just got this. Anyway, so it's pretty interesting stuff. So my job is to get finished here. So.
Do what you got to do. I'm Richie. I'm from Boston, Mass. Nice to
Mike
meet you.
Bilger, right.
Well, that was a.
It's like water. If you have, I mean, water can float a ship. That's
right,
a lot of torque
right,
you can
right.
get
And
on
a
it.
battleship is a phenomenal.
Yeah.
An aircraft carrier.
Now, and that's what you're doing, but you can't see this mass because it's just, it's not solid, but it's still, you've taken, let's say that electrical energy, and you've separated it into, part of it into, here's what I mean, part of this is hard for me to learn. Everything is made up of seven particles. If you read basically everything in the world, is that you just rearrange these 7 particles
Right,
in different
right,
ways.
I've looked into that a little bit,
The,
so
the
I'm
heaviest
familiar.
ones you call radioactive particles. The lightest ones I forgot the name from. But they're more randomly spaced. But what it is this takes. It's a centrifuge is what this is. You're spinning the heavy particles up, out. Now these heavy particles then rain down on whatever they're raining down on. They will displace the mass of that, and that's.
So he can focus the energy like you could focus the water out of a hose, and he'd fill up that space and lift that item just like water would float it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And even
no one's ever explained it to me.
And even, I mean, this is so focused. And the guy that I worked with, I was going to say, I got interested in this, and I read a lot of stuff. Well, they used, UFO aliens came here, and their thought waves lifted it,
Yeah.
and you know, well, no, bullshit.
Everything we
bullshit,
need
bullshit.
is on this planet.
Yeah. And when I read with this one guy, had some videos up. But the videos are he's a very interesting guy, but the videos are a little weird. That, I mean, the videos are absolute genius, but he only gets like 25 views on it, 30 views.
Yeah,
on
no
it.
one cares. Nobody cares about this stuff.
And so, what you can do with that is you can time this. That, okay, like what the guy was saying, on your car, if you have several pickups, and okay, that one gets 30,000 pounds of torque, that one gets 30,000 pounds of torque, that one gets 30,000 pounds of, man, you can spin those tires pretty good.
You bet.
You can turn those propellers. You can have a generator on the other end, and if you're doing 5,000 pounds of torque, well, shit, you can spin anything with it.
We wouldn't need to be dumping oil all
No.
over the place and blowing all
And
sorts of
that's-
smoke into the sky.
This, I've got a degree in math. I've got several other degrees.
You're a
This-
machinist?
I have my secondary one in industrial education, but this is the most advanced mechanical invention in the last probably 10,000 years since they were used, or 8,000 years since they were used the last time.
I was drawn here. I wonder why. I think you're going to do something amazing, and I'm just here to videotape it, to tell you the truth, because I was drawn here. I came 2,000 miles to see this, and if you don't know any better, it's like, this sucks.
Yeah.
This is what the
Yeah,
bunch of rusty. I could see this in my grandfather's backyard. Who wants to see this crap?
Yeah, I drove up. I've seen pictures of this back when I was a kid, and it looked exotic and stuff. I can drive up it.
Drive up here now. It's like, wow, this place. I'll get everything for you.
I got about 10 measurements I got to make if you got time.
Tour guide's coming this way.
Okay.
Not right this second though. He's busy over there.
Okay, give me a.
I'll give you a yell.
Yeah. Give me a heads up. I gotta
Yeah. It's like Indiana Jones, man, in tie-dye. I am so stoked that there is a scientist here who actually understands the gravity of this whole thing. This is absolutely a free energy machine. I knew it. And from what this guy described, this is amazing. He's in there right now taking measurements and all sorts of stuff. It's amazing. Doing continuity tests. With what's in this museum now, we could solve all the issues on the planet, but they won't let that happen. And they also surrounded this beautiful place with the shittiest neighborhood I've seen so far down here. No offense. No videotaping. That makes sense. So, this guy's running his tests and I'm watching out for him. I mean, what's better than this? This is some Indiana Jones shit. Graham Hancock could be proud. Definitely proud. This is the American pyramids, whether you realize it or not. So, I'm pretending I'm talking into a tape recorder just so I can continue to record, because I love my YouTube peoples. This place is about the size of a really good estate, so creepy thing is there's a face right here. I don't know if you can see that. That's pretty creepy. There's old conch shells, stuff like that. But there's a face. I don't know how old any of this is. It looks pretty old. There's coral and rocks, shells. Edward, the guy that built this place, is tiny. He's the shape of a Martian. So, almost got caught by a guard. Anyway.
Well, one of them answered is, does this, see, because this and the bottom plate are separated from the magnets by a piece of paper right here. This is paper, here and here. So
That's the insulated?
that's an insulator, yeah. So you're isolating you're isolating the top and the bottom from the magnets. And one of the things is, depending on the strength of the magnet, I had to find out today if there was a coil around this bolt. And I said, shit, I'll take a chisel and chisel a little chunk out. Well, there happened to be somebody else beat me to it.
Right.
So you can see there, that bolt is just a through bolt that goes right down here. The other thing, which is, wait, let me get you to one here. And he explained this, but I don't quite understand it. There are ball bearings, like 4 of them. One, where's the 2? 1, 2, 3.
North, south, east, west.
Yeah, and this one here, there.
Are they magnetic?
Yeah, so, but that he explained, and I'm not that good in electronics, but there's not room, there isn't room for a coil around
I don't see
that,
one
so
either.
no.
But bear in mind, they could have disassembled, they could have tore this down and then reassembled it with a couple of missing pieces.
Well, there's pictures back when he was here using it. I mean, there's pictures on the internet showing him, that one picture showing him using this thing. So what's missing are
the
pieces
whole rig.
apart. Then there's, it's like your pickup on the lawnmower, your field.
Yep, for the
or your
magneto.
coil for the magneto,
Yeah.
your pickup. That, and then there were 6 coils inside here, which they correspond to these 6 holes and these 6, and then there's this pickup arm as okay, that's where the guy would have to explain that, because, and I don't quite understand, I personally don't understand, why do these have to be oblong, those holes, but they had to be oblong. But that was but there's the other, somebody tore off the coils, and then I don't remember if the coil set hit right here, because this is a pickup arm right here. But basically, this is how he left it, minus, the easy copper to steal from it and the motor parts. But I got to do a few more measurements to see how that.
That's his telescope. This place is amazing. I mean, what are the chances I would run into a Indiana Jones, Graham Hancock type scientist that was here actually measuring everything and explaining how it works? You guys are stoked, man. This is the best possible video I could have ever imagined making. That's a big obelisk. And there's Saturn. Saturn's always there. This used to move perfectly. You could move this with one hand, Legend had it. I've seen videos of women actually pushing this thing with one finger all the way around. But then something happened to it. So they had all sorts of scientists and MIT guys and everybody else in crane companies, hoist companies come in to fix it. Well, now it doesn't work at all. But anyway. And the hexagonal pattern that is all over, that's on the planet Saturn, is all over this place. This is an enormous moat, cut out perfectly. I mean, cut out perfectly. It's big. And then again, there's that pattern. Best possible video I could have ever expected to make. That guy, meeting that guy Mike, was a score. They're trying to show this motor. This motor had nothing to do with what he did. I've seen the videos of him in action. Alright, this is Richie from Boston. I'm outside, Coral Castle. I pretty much videotaped everything I could for you. And I mean, I ran into another adventurer who's actually doing continuity tests, measuring everything, taking diagrams, and I got a chance to be his lookout while he was doing his thing. And he explained a great deal of it. This is free energy, people. This is it. This is it. This is the Holy Grail in the middle of, well, this. Apparently when Ed built this place, it was a tropical paradise. I mean, it's still beautiful weather out, it's still real nice, but I'll tell you what, I will not leave the Jeep unlocked. Hell effing no.